towards the west-facing coast. That means central and eastern areas should see some decent, dry, sunny weather, and actually not a bad day. Still quite chilly out there, but not as bad as it has been. So generally at around 4 to 7 degrees. Now, as we move out of Thursday into Friday, the isobars vertical, straight down. The winds coming from the north yet again. A cold day, but it's going to be a quiet day. So not that much in the way of weather, just a few scattered showers. And there will be some sunshine around, so that'll help hopefully compensate a little. And again, 3 to 7 degrees. The cold air stays with us for the start of the weekend. But look at Sunday, mild air set to return from the west. So it isn't going to be a short, sharp shock, really, this cold air, because on Saturday we'll see drier, sunnier weather conditions. By Sunday, it looks as though it's going to be cloudy and wetter from the west. And that mild conditions stay with us for the early half of next week. Sophie.
Louise, thank you. A reminder now of our main story this lunchtime. A blow for President Trump. For the first time in 25 years, the deeply conservative state of Alabama has voted in a Democrat for a US Senate seat. That is all from the BBC News at 1. It's goodbye from me on BBC One. We join the BBC's news teams where you are. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.
Hello there, I'm Eleanor Moritz. Welcome to North West Today. The headlines this Wednesday lunchtime. 2 people appear in court charged with the murder of 3 children in a house fire in Salford. A dogs charity on Merseyside calls for a change in the law to stop illegal puppy smuggling. And the boy who got a surprise Christmas star from his favourite footballing hero. Two people have appeared in court charged with murdering 3 children who died in a fire at their home in Salford. The pair are also accused of arson and of attempting to murder others who are in the house. Well, our chief reporter Dave Guest was in court and joins us from there now. And Dave, first of all, tell us more about the people in the dock today.
Yeah, Eleanor, they are Zach Bolland, who's 23, and Courtney Brierley, who's 20. They face 3 charges of murder, those charges relating to the deaths of 3 children. Demi Pearson, who was 14, her 8-year-old brother Brandon, and 7-year-old sister Lacey. They died when fire swept through their home in Walkden during the early hours of Monday morning. Now, in addition, the pair in the dock in Manchester Magistrates Court today face charges of arson and also of attempting to murder the dead children's mother, Michelle Pearson, who is currently seriously ill in hospital. Now, in addition, they face 3 further counts of attempted murder. Those relate to a 3-year-old girl and 2 16-year-old boys who were also in the house at the time of the fire. We're not allowed to name them for legal reasons. Well, the hearing lasted no more than 5 minutes and the pair were remanded to Manchester Crown Court, where there'll be a further hearing tomorrow. They didn't apply for bail and were remanded, therefore, in custody.
And Dave, away from court, of course, family and friends mourning the loss of those 3 children.
Yeah, this story, of course, has attracted national headlines. It's shocked all of those people living in the immediate vicinity of where this tragedy happened early on Monday morning. Demi Pearson was a pupil at Hartfold School, and today her head teacher paid this tribute to her.
Demi was a really good kid, fun-loving. I mean, she'd get me on the corridor, she'd say something amusing. She was a good kid, she was a funny kid. In terms of being popular inside of school, friendship group was enormous. I don't know anybody that didn't, really get on well with Demi. It was the same outside of school as well.
Yeah, so obviously still feeling very raw in the community at the loss of these 3 young lives. Well, of course, the next part of the legal process, as I say, is the further appearance at Manchester Crown Court tomorrow morning. And of course, we'll have more details of that then.
Dave, thank you. In other news from around the region, the Bolton-based comedian Peter Kay has cancelled his Sell-Out UK tour of stand-up arena shows and all his other scheduled live performances, including the Dance for Life shows. He says he's had to put off all outstanding work due to unforeseen family circumstances. People who've bought tickets will be able to get a refund. More than a quarter of secondary schools in the northwest are said to be underperforming in the latest report by inspectors from the watchdog Ofsted. 71% of schools in the region were judged to be good or outstanding, but that's below the national average of 79%. Only 1 in 6 high schools in Blackpool and Knowsley were rated good. Unemployment in the region went up by 5,000 in the 3 months to October, with 150,000 people out of work and claiming benefit in the northwest. That's an unemployment rate of 4.2%. A dogs charity based on Merseyside's warning that the number of illegally smuggled puppies is on the increase ahead of Christmas. Puppies bred in Eastern and Central Europe are often unvaccinated and can pose a health risk to other dogs. Our reporter Andy Gill has been at the Merseyside Dogs Home and just sent this report.
This is an 8-week-old puppy of a breed called Dog de Bordeaux. He was handed in to a vet's on Merseyside last night, and the people here at Merseyside Dogs Home think he's possibly an illegally smuggled puppy. Paul Dunn is the manager here. Paul, why do you think he's an illegal puppy?
Quite simply because he isn't microchipped. We've aged him round about 8-week-old, and he should be microchipped at that age, so that makes him illegal, either homebred or brought in through the customs. Why are these smuggled puppies a problem? They're a problem because they might be carrying diseases. We're all concerned about rabies, but they do carry other dog diseases that are transferable to the dogs diseases that we don't have in this country. And it also affects the behaviour. So dogs that have a lot of stress at a young age like this affects the long-term behaviour. And is this problem of puppies smuggled in from Central and Eastern Europe, is that a growing problem? It is growing. It grew at its largest between 2014 and 2016, but already this year we are seeing that worse than any other year in the build-up to Christmas. So it's a seasonal thing, people want puppies for Christmas? Exactly. Despite decades of us having a dog is for life, not for Christmas, people are still wanting puppies. What's the answer? How can we stop these being smuggled in from Europe? But one of the first things we can do is change the legislation. At the moment, puppies have free movement across Europe at 15 weeks old. If we change that to a little older, to probably 4 or 5 months old, we then see the puppy change into a young dog. So therefore it's no longer a puppy, it's a young dog, and quite easily you can distinguish between the two. And the advice is to check where you're buying the dog from, isn't it? That's right, make sure that you're buying from a reputable dealer. All right. From Merseyside Dogs Home, back to you.
Now, for much of his life, 11-year-old Joshua from Bolton has been battling serious health problems.